What's up, ladies? So last week I got a great response to the video on learning how to control your mouth in your marriage that I decided to come back this week with another video. And I think I'm going to be trying to do these maybe once a week. So if you guys have any topics that you'd like to hear me discuss or talk about, please inbox me and let me know, and I'll be happy to talk on those specific topics. Not saying that I'm an expert, but I do have a little bit of knowledge in this thing called marriage. So just want to be able to share with you what I've learned. So if you don't have to repeat those same mistakes that I made, then hey, and we that's a good thing. So today what I wanted to talk about, I'm really excited about this particular topic because I think it is one that husbands probably complain about the most about us women. So you're probably wondering, okay, what is it? It is nagging. Okay, ladies, let's just be honest. Now, y'all know if you are married, you have been guilty of nagging your spouse at least once, maybe twice, 3 times. Okay. It don't matter. You have at some point nagged your husband, I'm sure. So today we want to talk about if you are one of those people who nag, we want to help you to stop doing that because that ain't good. Okay. So nagging. How can I tell if I'm a nagger? Well, I'm glad that you asked. I'm going to tell you. If you have tried to tell your husband something, the same thing 100 times, 100 different ways, 100 days, 100 weeks, and you ain't seen no kind of change, then you're probably nagging him about that particular situation. Nagging does not create any type of solution. What it does is it creates a temporary fix. Your husband will go ahead and do it just because he wants you to be quiet. He tired of hearing you say it because you already said it 100 times, 100 different ways, 100 days, 100 weeks. He don't want to hear it no more. So he's just like, let me just go and do it today so I don't have to listen to her tomorrow, okay? It does not create any type of long-term results. That nagging don't do that. If you have asked your husband to do something 100 days, 100 ways, and he still hadn't done it, nagging does not create an atmosphere that makes your husband want to be around you. You know, he would rather stay at work or go hang out with his friends or just go sit in the car in the parking lot of Walmart because he don't want to come home to all of that. Okay, so nagging is bad. Okay, ladies, nagging is bad. It is not a good thing. So today we are going to work on that. We're going to work on it. So take this opportunity, go get you some paper, a pencil, get you a cup of coffee, child, because we're about to get all up in this thing. Okay. So if you have identified yourself as a nagger, you might be asking yourself now, okay, well, what do I do? So I found a scripture in Proverbs 19:13, and it says, and the quarrelsome wife, we can also replace that word quarrelsome with nagging. And the nagging wife is like the constant dripping of a leaky roof. Wow. What that says to me is that over the course of some time, the words that I've said, the words that have been dripping from my mouth, the steady flow of this nagging has started to erode and decay and destroy the very foundation of my marriage. That's just how bad nagging can get, you guys. It can destroy the very foundation of your marriage. So that's why it's really important to get this under control. That's why it's so important to recognize that this is something that I've been doing and I need to work on not doing that anymore. A lot of times people that nag don't even realize that they're nagging. They think that they're helping, or they think that this is just, this is just how I am. But I'm here to tell you today, those excuses won't cut it. Your marriage will be destroyed if you don't get a hold to the nagging that you're doing every day. So we want to find out, and we want to figure out, how can I stop nag? So I remember when I first got married, and one of the things that I did not want to do was to be a nagging wife. I did not want to nag my husband. Oh my goodness, that was just something that I was just like, just don't want that to be me. But life happened, reality set in, kids start coming, and so did the nagging. But one day I was nagging him about something. I don't remember what it was. But I remember really hearing myself. I heard myself talking to my husband that way. First of all, I started thinking, what gives me the right to speak to him that way? That's my spouse. What makes me think that it's okay to say those things or to talk to him in that tone? And it really bothered me. But what the Lord really showed me was, and I need y'all to really get this. I mean, this blew my mind. The words that I was using really showed me. The words that I was using showed me my own character. The words that I was choosing to use and the tone in which I was choosing to use them showed me that just what was in me, and I was like, oh my goodness. So the words that you speak and the way in which you use those words, or the tone in which you use those words, really show you who you are. If you think that it's okay to speak with your spouse or speak to your spouse in a derogatory way or in a condescending way, or speak to them as if they are your child, then that really is showing what's in you. It doesn't really necessarily have anything to do with them, what they're doing and what they're not doing, but has everything to do with you and who you are and what's inside of you. Wow. When I got that revelation of, that it was, when I saw myself, it was horrible. When I heard myself, it was horrible. So when I got that revelation that the words that I was using and the way that I was using them, said more about who I was, I really wanted to do something about that. I really, really, really wanted to change. Guys, let's just be honest. Nagging does not change anybody. It does not create an atmosphere of change. It does not create any type of lasting change. Again, your husband may go ahead and do it, but it's only just temporary. It does not work. It will not create the lasting results that you're looking for. So it's really, really, really important that we understand that nagging does not work. So how do I change this? If I realize that I'm a nagger, how do I change it? I wrote down, I think 4 or 5 different ways that you will be able to change if you are a nagger. And I'm going to try to get through them really quick because I know this video is really long. But here's where you need to start taking your notes, okay? So once you realize that this is something that you have a problem with, then you have to choose to admit that it's a problem. You have to acknowledge it. We can't fix anything that we don't acknowledge. If you don't say, yes, this is a problem, this is an issue, then you cannot or you will not start to work on it. So the first thing I think that you have to do is you have to first just choose to admit that you have this problem and that you want to work on it and that you want to get better. I think that's the first step to it. I also think that another way to help you to not nag anymore is to take a step back and allow yourself to choose the right words. Like I said last week, you can't just say any and everything that comes to your mind just because it comes to your mind. You just can't do that. You are speaking to your spouse, the one that you said that you choose to love and honor and all of those things. You don't want to just spew out words that's going to be very hurtful or that's going to be destroying your marriage. So you have to choose the right words. You have to choose to be encouraging. You have to choose words that are going to bring life to your marriage. You have to choose words that's going to get the job done, because just because you say it does not mean that it's going to get the job done. I wish sometimes that when we're in conversation with our spouses and we are having a conflict, that we could just turn the volume down and just look at the body language. And if all you see is this, then, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? We've got to learn how to choose the right words. We've got to learn just how to do things differently. We've got to learn that even when we are choosing the right words, the way in which we present those words, our body language and all of flinging our hands and, all that stuff, y'all, we got to learn to bring that down. You got to just bring it down. I'm serious. You You can't just put that out there like that. You got to bring it down some, okay? So choose to admit that it's a problem. Choose the right words. Choose the right tone, the right body language, and all of those things. Choose the right time. So Alfred and I, we like to do this thing where we get dressed up and we go out on date night. Because let me tell y'all something. If you wait until you get in trouble, then you probably in trouble. If you wait, it's like you know, if you don't have a plan for escape, if there is a fire, trying to make a plan during the fire, you're probably going to be in trouble. So if you wait until trouble comes, then you're probably going to be in trouble. Okay. So what Alfred and I like to do is we like to get a plan together. We get dressed up, we go out on a date, and we sit across from each other, and guess what we do, y'all? We talk. We communicate. We don't yell. We don't fuss. We don't argue, but we just communicate. And one of the things that I like is when we go out and I ask him or he asks me, whichever, we say, okay, so tell me something that I'm doing really great right now. Something that you really like. Tell me all about that. And so we'll start telling each other all the good things. But then you got to flip the coin, right? And you got to say, okay, so tell me, what are some things that I'm not doing right now? What are some things that you want to see me do better? What areas do you do? Now, when they tell you, you can't be getting all mad. You got to just, again, you got to be willing to acknowledge that, okay, that's how they feel, and I'm going to try to do more of the things that they like and less of the things that they don't, okay? So ask those questions, though, when everything is good, when everything is light, when y'all like each other, not in the middle of conflict, not in the middle of trouble, but you're gonna make a plan so that when trouble comes, then you already have a plan in place, and you're not, trying to figure out how to get out of trouble when you're in trouble, okay? If that makes sense. So that helps to cut down on the nagging, because now you have expressed to them in a loving, calm way some things that you would like to see them do. And if it's picking up their sock, if it's putting away the dishes, whatever it is. But I also need us to understand this. We are different, and we've got to learn to embrace each other's differences. I don't do things the way my husband and he doesn't do things the way that I do things, and that's okay. What we have to do is learn how to accept those differences and learn how to work and make them work for us, okay? So he may not do what I do, I don't do what he does, but it's okay. We're gonna make it work, okay? So he may not fold the towels the way I fold the towels, but I'm gonna be okay with that. If the towels are folded, then we're good, okay? So we've got to learn to accept the differences. So choose to admit the problem. Choose the right words, the right tone, choose the right time, choose to accept each other's differences. Guys, I think if we would be willing to do all of those things, nagging would not be an issue for us anymore. But I think it's when we feel like we want to have our way, or when we feel like our spouse isn't doing it the way that we want them to do it, or when we feel like we don't have a plan in place, then it creates those opportunities for nagging. And nagging will eat away at the very foundation of our marriage and will affect every area of our marriage. I hope this has helped. I'm sorry it was so long, but I had to get it all out. So if you have any questions or any comments, please leave those. And again, if you have anything that you would like to hear me discuss at a later time, please feel free to inbox me those questions, comments, concerns, whatever they may be. I hope you guys have a great day. Now go and apologize to your mate, because you know you've been nagging and you know you ain't right and you can't be doing that. Okay? All right, guys. 2